All right. Finally. All right. This thing, we tried to pinch it out earlier and it gave us problems. Let's try it again. There we go. All right. Okay. All right. Let's get the monitor up and then we'll be ready to go. Goodness gracious. Hasn't this been a problem? Hey, Dorothy. Don't know what I'm going to paint yet. We'll figure it out in a minute. I'm going to be out of the studio for a little while. I thought I'd try to paint something today. Alright, so let's get started. Let's get some liquid clear. Here we go. Where's my little can opener? Let's paint a little landscape today, some kind or other. I have an idea. Oh, you know what? Maybe we'll paint a little bit of a seascape kind of a thing. I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. So the New Year's here. I'm going down, spend a little time with my mom in Florida. It's not going to be, my hand is real, it's really been sore, especially my right one. It's really giving me a problem. Um, 2 days ago, it was hurting me so bad, I just kept falling asleep. That's my body's natural reaction. When it needs to heal up, it's sleep. And I was so tired, I sat down and slept for a couple hours and woke up. It was still hurting me, but just feeling better. So I finally broke down, took some ibuprofen. I'm not supposed to take ibuprofen because it's hard on my kidneys, but I don't know what I did to it. I think my warranties ran out. Just an old age thing, I guess. I reckon. Alright. So I think I told you guys on my last video I changed my brush cleaning thing to this Pyrex glass container. It's worked out pretty good. Alright. Let me wipe this brush out. So anyway, tomorrow I gotta clean the studio up. And make sure I have everything cleaned up before I leave. So the next day I got a couple of things I need to go do, errands. You know how it is when you get ready to take a trip, there's like a million things that come up right before you leave. Things that didn't seem to come up before you made plans. Then suddenly, there they are. Alright, and we don't want to leave that much liquid white on there. Hey guys, be sure you say hi to me so I know that you're out there. We're using a canvas with a lot of tooth. This is a black canvas. This is one of the canvases I stretched myself. If you watch that video, it's one of those. And then it's got 2 coats of sanded black gesso on it. You can see in the back, it's not like your everyday run-of-the-mill economy canvas. So the canvas has a lot of tooth. When I make my own canvases, I particularly like them with a lot of tooth. I don't really like a smooth canvas. But sometimes, every once in a while, I like a smooth canvas, but not very often. All right, let's start off with some phthalo blue on this black background. So there won't be a whole lot to see right here off the bat. We'll just take some of this phthalo blue. Oh, you know what? Tell you what, before we do that, even, let's get some... No, yeah. Tell you what, let's make a little bit of a sunrise here. As always, for those of you that have been here before, I just kind of let the painting come to me as we go. That works for me. Yeah, let's see. Tell you what, let's put just a little bit extra down here. Maybe we'll do a seascape. We'll figure that out in a little bit. Let me put something on here. It's got a ton of water on it. Man, I've just about emptied out my tube of Withering Crimson. So I guess that means when I get back, I will be able to open a brand new tube. It's so much fun to open a brand new tube of paint. Let's pull this out flat. Without cleaning the brush too much, we'll just kind of... Matter of fact, I don't think we'll clean the brush at all. We'll just kind of sling it up there. Let this come to us. Let it come to us. And let's put a little bit of that down here in the water area. So the New Year's here. How many of you have broken any of your resolutions? Have you broken any? I didn't make any. That's because I make enough of it throughout the year, and I'm pretty good at keeping them. So, all right. Now, let's see. We got some phthalo blue here. Let me just clean this brush out. Hey, Diane. Oh, Gary's joining us again. Hey, Gary. So if we look at phthalo blue in here, maybe a little bit. Although I think maybe we'll have some land down here when we're done. It's all said and done. Honestly, I didn't really need to clean the brush that time. I could have. But I did, so. And let's take a little bit of Prussian blue on the top up here. Because this is going to be kind of a sunrise tending toward just barely, or sunset, just tending barely toward daylight. All right, so that kind of takes care of the setup. I reckon. So I'm thinking maybe we'll have like a sunrise. Hey, Diane, with a little bit of a seascape. Maybe. We'll see. All right, let's get some titanium white out here. I did a few experiments in the last week since the last stream that we did, fiddling around with some colors, like mixing white, and it was interesting. It's always interesting. All right, so let's start like right about here. We'll make this the brightest part right here, and we'll work that color out. This is how you turn a black canvas into a daylight scene. I don't want to get too much of that blue down in there though. So we'll clean the brush in between each time. We don't want to bring that dark color. We won't contaminate that dark color back into that light color. So we'll pick up a little bit more, just a little bit. Why is this paint so soft this morning? This afternoon, I guess it is. We'll just do this blue up here. do it all here while we're up here. All right. I'm just going to wipe this brush. I'm not going to clean it. I'm going to wipe some color out of it. I reckon this is going to be early sunrise. This is my hurt hand. Clean brush one more time. Yeah, so it's changing away a little bit from a seascape. That's okay. Let's go back and put a little bit more white in this area. And pick up another brush. Because I don't want to clean that one again. Let's start out here. I'm just going to blend this color out. I'm going to put a little bit of that color in this foreground. Now we'll clean the brush. So the painting doesn't look like it's feeling like a seascape. So let's get out some other colors here to go with this. We'll see what we can do here with this. Feeling more like a landscape. Let's start off. I'll just continue to use this brush. So let's take some phthalo green, some sap green, sorry, and some Prussian blue. Mix up a little bit of a color here. Maybe, I think I'll need some burnt umber with that. Or dark sienna, either one will do. Brownish color, just to dull it down just a little bit. Hey, that tube's about empty too. It's going to be new tubes of paint opening when I get back. That'll be fun. All right. Yeah, my hand gave me some trouble, but it's trying to. I think it's trying to get better over the next. Today, especially, it's a lot better than it was yesterday. So that's good. So this looks a lot like where I live. It's the rolling hills of Kentucky. Let's put now if you follow Brandon Thomas much, Brandon does a lot of Kentucky paintings. He lives over on the other side of the, well, our state's kind of long, so I wouldn't say he lives on the other side. He lives about 100 miles east of me. So we get to see each other now and again. Both a couple country boys. All right. Now, I'm just taking this paint and I'm kind of Let me show you. Let me show you the clean brush. Taking the paint, and let's do it this way, because you'll be able to see better. And I'm pushing the brush, pushing it down, and then pushing it in. And it creates this, let me put it right on the edge where you can see it like that. Because I want to paint with just these bristles right on the edge when I do this. So what I want to do, so I just want to come in here and put these trees off in the distance. And doing that with a 1-inch brush is a little tricky, but if you try it a couple times, and if you mess it up, it don't matter. Just make your hill a little bigger. I'll make these up here a little taller, because eventually we're going to put this hill in front of that hill, because that's how our hills work here. Okay. So, let's see. Looks pretty good. Let's clean the brush a little bit. Because I want to leave that color in there, up there, but I don't want to have it in the brush. Mostly because it's got some blue in it. I want to take that blue out. Wow. I thought maybe a little later today it would be better for people, but it doesn't look like we're going to get a big crowd today. That's okay. That's okay. We'll have some fun anyway. We are having fun. I'm having fun anyway. All right. So let's start laying in some landscape here. I think we'll leave that back there kind of like it is. And I think we'll mix just a touch of green with this. And then as it kind of moves away from the center, we'll let it kind of shadow out some. Like that. All right, I'm going to add just a touch of white to that mix. And right here in the middle, where the sun is, we're going to kind of put a little extra highlight. And it's not quite as bright as I wanted. Let's try it some more. Let's brighten it up a little bit more. Yeah. Hey, Carolyn. Late. Yeah, you can't be late to something I didn't announce. I was just kind of started cleaning up I'm getting ready to go on a trip, so I was thinking of trying to clean up the studio, and I thought, well, let's do a painting first. So, it's kind of how it just came about. You're not late. You guys are never late. I'm grateful to have you come by. All right, make this hill a little bit more like this. Yeah. Put a little bit more of this bright color right here in the middle. Maybe a little bit on this side too. I'm going to start evening out this landscape some. It's a little slanty in the middle, but that's okay. We'll decide here in a minute if we want to use the same technique, the same little pull-up technique. Mix a little more yellow with this. We'll put some trees and stuff in here in a minute. So maybe we got like a little path that kind of goes. We'll think about that in a second. Of course, the more you tap this, the more you tap it, the softer it gets. Get nice grass. You don't want to cover up all that. You want to cover all that dark. The dark's your friend. Yeah, that's kind of okay. All right, let's put a little bit up here. I'm just using a wash brush. If you're just doing again, of course, these are oils. This can't sit in case, of course. You might not have ever been here before. I always paint in oils. Always is a big word. I tend to paint in oils. All right. No. Matter of fact, well, not as far as I know, Mira. All the Stivers in my family, me included, are short. My daughter's 5'3". My mom's 5 foot tall. My dad's 5'6", and I'm 5'6". My son is probably the tallest. How tall is Josh?
About 5'10".
He's about 5'10". He's about the tallest Stivers I know.
That's cousin me.
So, all right, let's see. Huh?
That's cousin me.
Yeah. Put a little extra hillside in here. Yeah, okay, I kind of like that mixture of colors there with the dawn. Let's soften this up just a little bit here in the middle. In between these rows. Don't want to cover up that dark. All right. We're going to, well, let's go ahead and put the path in. Then we can think about where we want to put some trees. This is 11 by 14. Probably the next 2 or 3 or 4 paintings that I paint, I'll paint 11 by 14s. I just switched out my gallery the other day, or started to. And my wall space is restricted about, I don't know, 10 feet long. So I have a bunch of 11 by 14 frames left over. No 11 by 14 paintings. So I think I'll paint some that size. I had some canvases. I just hadn't put them up. All right, let's put the path in. So let's see. I just want to show like a little bit of that, maybe way back here, just a little bit, just a teeniest amount. I'm kind of scrub this into the canvas, so we're going to highlight it in a second. Then we'll square the landscape up with it a little bit too. It's a windy old path. Here in Kentucky, it probably means cows, kind of like many of our roads. I live close to a road called Fairground Road, and I'm pretty sure with all the 90-degree turns that we have, that somebody followed a path and followed a cow and just laid down the asphalt as they went. Yeah, all right, let's put some highlight on that. It'll be kind of a slightly bright highlight because it's right in the sun, right? So sorry I have to turn it on you here, but my knife's got a little bit too much white on it. There we go. I'm just kind of smooshing that out a little bit. All right, now let's square the landscape up with that a little bit more. So in some places I want to take the landscape over the top of the path. Push that path down into the ground a little bit. I think I'll do that with a little bit of, right here in the front, I'm just going to do that with a little bit of blue going in, just to darken it. And then put a little bit of green on top of that. Pull that out. And let's see. Put some highlight on top of that. There we go. All right, let's do something on the other side, kind of the same way. But if you haven't watched me paint before, I tend to paint with both hands. Kind of favoring one hand today because I have one that's kind of giving me some trouble, giving me some hurt. But it must be artist hand. I don't know if you noticed, but Wilson Bickford's having some hand problems as well. So keep him in your prayers. All right. Okay. Now, our seascape's turned into a landscape. Hey, Kenny Ray, Jane, Peggy. Man, goodness, have I been looking the wrong time? I guess I missed Peggy a while ago when I looked over there. Kenny Ray's son, how are you doing? All right, let's get a filbert. Put a couple rocks in here, and then we'll put some trees in here. Let's try. So, I've double loaded this brush. So on this side, this filbert, it's a small filbert. What size is this thing? I don't know. I just always know what size I like. It doesn't actually say. Oh, it's a 4. All right. So anyway, it's got a really super light brown on one side and sienna on the other, dark sienna on the other. So it's just double loaded. I'm going to bring it in using the side of it like this. And then I'm going to kind of turn it so that it hits both sides. We'll just kind of curl it. Make sure you have the dark side on the bottom. I'm just going to kind of curl it. Make it a little bit more light color. Put another one in there, and another one. Now I need to pick up some darker color. All right, let's do a little bit darker back there. We go. So put some stones up in here, a couple places, just a couple extra rocks and stuff sitting around in the field. Lord knows we have plenty of that in Kentucky. Matter of fact, if you travel over toward where Brandon lives in Lexington, actually you don't have to get too far outside of Louisville, which is where I live. You'll see a lot of rock fences. A lot of rock fences. All right, let's put a couple up here by this path. There we go. Just a couple of rocks. All right, let's clean the brush out. I'm thinking about putting some trees in here. Oh, you know what? I got a new set of script liners too. Maybe we'll hang on a second. We'll check those out in a second. Let me get some Van Dyke Brown. Put a couple trees in here. Let's see. Hey Kenny, thank you, buddy. It's good to hear people watch. If there's anything you'd like to see done, y'all let me know. I usually don't. I seldom have an idea of what I want to paint on a particular day. I just know I want to paint. So I'm pretty open to trying stuff. If I mess up, it won't bother me a bit. You'll learn one way to not do something. All right, tell you what. Let's start off with all right, let's start. All right, I'm gonna start off with one of these old script liners. We'll see how that goes. Let me get a little bit of linseed oil here. Yeah, have another channel. If you guys will see the lamps up there on the shelf up there, I do have a channel of a restore 19th century kerosene lamps. I have probably for 10 years. I've done that. I have a lot of videos showing a lot of things you should not do, along with a lot of things you should do, if you're collecting those. All right, so we're going to start with a tree way back here in the back. It's a tall little skinny dude. We don't have an excessive number of pine trees. When I first got out of the military, I lived in Alabama. And I lived in Alabama most of my military career as well. Not all of it, but most of it. And never been so sick of seeing pine trees in all my life. So I was glad when we moved back to Kentucky that we didn't have very many of those. We have some cedar trees around here and there. So tell you what, be sure you like and share. I'm going to give a painting away. I'm not going to ship it until I get back from my trip, but I just don't have the time to get it out. But hang on, I'll show it to you in a minute. When we get to some of this painting, I'll show it to you. Let's put another one up there. We'll put some leaves on it in a second. My trees are never straight. If you spend much time with trees, you'll find out they're not very straight. They're good friends, though. Good friends. I won't fiddle with this too much. I know you guys, it's probably not too exciting to watch somebody paint 100 limbs on a tree, but I've been known to spend a good bit of time doing that sometimes, especially in winter scenes. They're so much fun. I have just a hand for it. My hand shakes, and that's good. That helps you make a nice crooked tree. The only straight trees are telephone poles, so. Alright. I want to make this guy a little bit. He's almost highlighted himself the way he is, but let's add a little darkness there. Let's make him a little bit darker. There we go. So this is just Van Dyke Brown. Looks like he's got a big burl right there on the middle. Hey, buddy. Oh, well, you're welcome. I would do it again in a heartbeat. I would do it again in a heartbeat. I can't think of anything else I did that was any more rewarding. Although, my war wasn't a very popular war, but it didn't stop us from doing what we needed to do. All right, so let's just tell you what. Let's go ahead and figure out where this bigger tree. I'm gonna put a bigger tree in here. Let's put one right here. Nice big tree right there. And let's put another one right. Let's make it taller and closer. Here we go. All right, let's add some paint to that. So remember, you're pulling across 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5 layers of paint here. So you gotta bear down on a little bit. There we go. Switch back to the script liner. I think I'll use a little bit bigger script. Well, maybe I can do it with this brush. We'll try. Not too much you can't do with any brush you want. Let's just take this and put it bigger. That looks okay. We're gonna put some leaves on this tree, so we don't have to put a bunch of small ones on there. A bunch of small branches. So when you're painting a tree, there's a couple ways you can think about it. Kind of decide where the location's going to go. I could have put some background color on first, and which, if you watch the last video, that's exactly what I did. This time I'm painting the middle of the tree first, then we'll put the background on it. I like my trees to be kind of relatively open. I need some places for birds to sit. Just don't look too much like the wintertime, but I want this branch to cut across this tree right there. Pull it down there. And pull this into that right there. And then let's put a little extra couple branches right there. Maybe one right like out that. Don't think on it too hard. If you think on it too hard, you'll mess it up. You go out and look at trees, try to find any two alike, you won't. It's just not going to happen. They grow however they feel like it. All right. Yeah. Let's get a little bit of midnight black for the front color, for the rear color, I mean. Well, maybe we'll highlight the tree first. I'm going to highlight it. Let's highlight the tree first. So let's get a knife. Where's the knife? Here it is. All right. So got some dark sienna. I'm going to start on the back side of the tree. So, because the light's right here, right? So I'm going to be on the back side of the tree. Just kind of pull this color in. Got to do the same on the other side. I'm going to put a bush around that right there, so I'm not going to mess with that too much. Put some bushes in here. All right, so now we're working with my tricky hand. We'll see how that does. Yeah, I don't know what the heck. Got something wrong with the nerve in my wrist of my hand. I'm a novelist. I write novels, and you'll find me on Amazon. If you look for me, you'll find me. All you got to do is type it in the search bar. I've written about 14, and so I think probably I spent a little too much time on the keyboard during the holidays finishing up a novel I was working on. I think I probably got a little flash of carpal tunnel here. I'm going to try to work that out. All right, now I'm going to mix up a little bit. Let's see, I don't want something that's kind of cad yellow. That's a little too bright. Let's go with, let's get a little bit of yellow ochre. And just a little bit of that umber. I don't want to mix up too much paint because I have to. And maybe a little bit of cad yellow, or maybe some Indian yellow in that mix. Yeah, maybe some white. To kind of brighten it up a little bit. Put some one color in to dull it down, put another color in to brighten it up. All right, one more time. All right, let's see how this looks. Now we're going to pull the other direction on the highlight side, but we're going to add a little bit of yellow tint to it since it's coming against the sun. Wouldn't be too even. Let's dump that color, pick it up some more, clean the knife off a little bit. And then let's pick a little bit of that on my, a little bit of that color on the script liner. I don't know if I'll need some. Put a little bit of that color on these branches. I don't need too much because it's gonna have leaves on it. All right. And we'll pick up just a little bit of midnight black now. And kind of add this toward the middle. Maybe not quite in the middle, but you know, just a couple little tabs there. Little tabs there where the bark's a little bit uneven. There we go. Let's give it a little bit of. Yes. Yes, Diane, you certainly can. I'm actually doing that at the moment with another painting that I'm working on. It's a new technique I'm trying. It starts off with a dry canvas, but you're layering paint. It's probably the whole painting. You're layering paint like you paint for a while and then you let it sit for a couple hours and tack up using. And I use liquid, which helps it dry a little faster, or at least it's supposed to. So yeah, you can do that. It's been my experience thus far that liquid is not doesn't dry fast enough for what I'm trying to do. When you make your trees, don't make them too round because they don't tend to grow that way. They don't tend to look like your school trees, you know. Kind of want your shadows to be a little bit odd, if I might use that term. A little uneven, random, maybe that's a better word. Odd has a, I don't know, maybe a bad implication, I don't know. I'm a little odd. All right, let's see. Let's put some, I'm going to go right across the trunk here to indicate some branches coming out toward us. All right, so we're using midnight black on this. I think I'll put one more right about here. Yeah. All right. I'm going to use some liquid white on this with this color I'm about to mix up. So hang on a second. Let me open this up. And when I opened it, I was going to get paint on my fingers. So, 1 second. Put some bushes in here too in a second. We'll put some bushes in here to make the painting a little more interesting. So let's see. I want that. And I want some green, some sap green. Maybe a little bit of this yellow. All right, let's try that. That looks like a pretty groovy color. Yeah, except I didn't make up enough of it. Hang on a second. When you're making these colors, you need to make sure you mix enough that you can cause it to tack up. When you mix it, when you're trying to highlight, you want to be able to like create little peaks like you do with egg whites. Yes, it's true. I cook too. I have all these weird hobbies. All right, so let's just kind of. Yeah, that's okay. I like that. Kind of goes good with the landscape. So, you know, we kind of blotted the tree in the back. That's out, and that's okay. We know it's back there, right? You should just barely be touching this. All right. So that was just an even mixture. This highlight was an even mixture of liquid white with a dash of cad yellow and about an even amount of sap green. All right, let's put some bushes in here though. For that, I'm going to need some midnight black. Where'd it go? I just had it. All right, so we're going to use some midnight black. Now, if you haven't used midnight black before, it's a little purplish blue color, kind of, sort of, and it's kind of. I kind of like it if you mix it with a little bit of brown. So I guess it depends what you're putting it on though. But I find that if I mix it with a little bit of brown, that it won't doesn't turn as purpley if you apply highlights on it, because it's got you can actually make it yourself, just equal parts of, well, I mean, pretty close to equal parts. Alizarin crimson, Prussian blue, and Van Dyke brown will make black. So that's pretty good. It's pretty easy to do. Now I'm using an oval brush, or a half oval brush. I guess it's an oval brush. It's a half oval brush to make these bushes. I like this brush. It's a cool little bush brush. So let's put some bushes just out there a little bit. That one looks okay. I don't care too much about putting a bush out there. So let's put some bushes over the top of our stuff here. Maybe we'll make the bushes a different color. I don't know. Maybe they're like some azaleas or something floating around out here. What do you think? Add some azaleas. All right, I'll tell you what. Let's do. If you join after I said this, I'm using a new brush cleaning system that's made up of a Pyrex glass, 2.5 quart Pyrex. I use the oval brush, the same brush I just showed you about the. Hey, Arbor, how are you, buddy? Arbor's such a good artist, guys. If you don't follow him, you should follow him. He's awesome. He's awesome. All right, let's mix this color up on the brush. We're just gonna mix this color on the brush. Kind of get a color I'm looking for. It looks kind of groovy. Then we'll mix a little bit of liquid white with it, which is probably going to make it less groovy than I thought it was a minute ago. Well, it's okay. We'll doctor it a little bit. All right, so it's the same thing. Same brush. So this is Alizarin crimson, liquid white, and you can see it's kind of in the bristles of the brush right there. It's pretty evenly spaced, because when we put it on, we're not going to tap it so much, just kind of touch it to make these little azalea bushes. So we'll kind of turn it this way and then turn it that way. That's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. Kind of run them out here now. A little bit out here. Yeah. What do y'all think of that? I kind of like that. I want to do a little bit more of there, though. In your world, you can make them that color if you want, or you can make them a different color. Any darn color you want. All right. Oh, you know what? I missed that one back yonder. I'm just going to put a little bit out there on that one. So we use right on the edge of the brush. Just like that. Well, I'm just kind of looking the painting over. Now, here's a tip. Here's a tip for you. And then I'll show you the painting we're going to give away. Hang on a second. Clean my brush. Here's a tip for you. It's always a good idea, especially when you're first starting out, but but I find it's true most of the time, is always back up away from your painting. Sometimes as much as 5 feet, 6 feet. Take a look at it instead of when you're right close on it. It's going to look different than if you back away from it. So, for instance, I just noticed I didn't finish highlighting that tree right there. There we go. All right. So, but the other side of that tip is I've never heard this tip from anybody except me. So, but pass it along to everybody you know because it's a really good tip. Even if you're just using a phone camera, it doesn't matter. Take a camera and get it nice and squared in the lens and take a picture of it, of your painting, and then back away from it. And then just get away from your painting, but stand in the corner somewhere and call it up and look at it on your phone. Your paintings, something about the objectivism of it being in a painting will actually change how you think about the painting a little bit. It'll look different to you. So, there's a tip for that. All right. I was like, what else am I forgetting? Oh yeah, hang on a second. I got a painting to give away. And this is it. This is a 12 by 16. I said earlier it's 11 by 14. This is an 11 by 14 painting. If you live in the United States, because I can't afford to mail it out of the country, sorry guys, and I have to stand away from it a little bit so you guys can see the whole darn thing. Here it is. Here's the painting. So, if you live in the continental United States, I will mail it to you free of charge if your name is selected. I'm going to give away probably at least a dozen of these this year. Pretty good sized painting. This painting is called In the Dark. But just like and share, and I will draw a name this time tomorrow afternoon and announce who the winner is. And whoever wins it, I'll mail it to you. If you live in the United States, that's all it takes. So you get one chance for clicking like on this video, and you get another click for every time you share it. So another chance to win every time you share it. So if you already won one, congratulations. As soon as I reach the fact that everybody's won one, which I don't know if that'll ever happen, but anyway, then you'll have a chance to win another one. But or maybe we'll just do it year by year. I don't know, because I don't intend to stop painting anytime soon. All right. Well, listen, it's been great hanging out with you guys, and I will see you when I get back from my trip. The studio will be all cleaned up, and we'll start something fresh. I think we'll probably do a space painting next time. Now, I tell you guys all the time that I never know what I'm going to paint. So, I kind of had an idea today what I wanted to paint. Maybe, sort of, kind of. Something that was based along this little sketch that I put out. And as you can see, the painting didn't turn out anything like that. I just go with it where it wants to go, and I always find that works best for me. So, some people need more of an outline. They need to do some sketching. I've done some of that kind of painting. It's not what I like to do the best. I just kind of like to see how the story unfolds. I write books the same way. If you get a chance and you read one of my books, please drop me a line. Let me know how you liked it or if you hated it. You can find them on Amazon in almost every country in the world. So, hope you guys have a great week, and that winter's being kind to you wherever you live. Summer if you live in Australia. And I'll see you when I get back. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.